So, Ethan, the thing that an article in a post in Howell Happenings caught my eye the other day, and we're good friends with Trevor Brooks of Eternity Brewing Company in Howell, and he said, you know, who's taking this on is Ethan Hillier, the one to talk to about this, and you are doing everything craft, and it sounds like pure Michigan right here in Howell, so you could call it pure Howell almost.
There you go. Yeah, so, basically, Eternity Brewing's been around for, quite a while, 2014, and I believe we're the oldest brewery in Livingston County. And so kind of, with all the unique challenges that I'm sure all of your listeners have experienced, over the past few months or years, in a response to increasing prices and all that stuff, we figured, how do we do all this stuff as close to home as possible? And so we kind of went out and rethought where we were getting all of our ingredients, and it kind of just, that was the process, and it kind of just happened that when we were talking with someone with the state of Michigan, they said, well, have you guys considered being, applying to be considered a pure Michigan company, which apparently is actually a program where they go through and they look at all of your invoices, all of your vendors, and kind of tabulate how much stuff you're getting from Michigan, and we were over 90%.
Wow.
So, yeah, we're pretty proud of that, and to support other local small businesses and Michigan companies as well.
Now, was this something you guys were attempting to do in the beginning, or just kind of fell into place where it's like we're having trouble getting ingredients, so we search for somebody a little closer and try and build on that?
Yeah, that's exactly it. It was not, the goal was not to set out to be pure Michigan. The goal was to try to make sure that we can, not have to raise our prices significantly for our customers, because of the difficulty of getting things shipped in, and not having relationships with the vendors directly. Obviously that makes a big difference when you're working with local places, and you can drop in and say hi and say, hey, can you help me out? And I can help you out. And, just kind of the sense of community is very helpful there.
Well, I know you've had a lot of great support from the community in fundraising to do some different things there at the brewing company. And one of the things I was reading about was the milling of your own grains. So how do you incorporate that right inside the business, or do you have a separate location for something like that?
Yeah, so recently we were able to secure a piece of equipment to do it all inside the brewery. So previously we would have essentially our grain supplier. Most of the grain we would get would be milled in their large commercial system and then sent to us already milled. And so, in talking with with our brewers about this, essentially the enemy of beer in all stages is oxygen. And so even the grain, when it's already milled, it's already broken down, starts oxygenating in the bag before it's even put into the beer. It's before it's even made into beer. And so by milling it in-house, not only does it save us, a considerable amount of money in paying someone else to do it, it also allows us to essentially mill the grain, put it right into the beer, and avoid that extra oxygenation that happens while it's waiting.
Now, how many other breweries do you know? I don't think any in Livingston County, but even just, across the state, it seems like very few would be taking that extra step.
That's a good question. I'm not really sure how many places are doing it or not.
Because it's the kind of thing I think that as a customer, you don't really think about it. You just go, oh, I'm going to this brewery. Hey, this is nice, But where you get your grain and how you mill it, that's really not something that's on the general customer's mind. And yet you guys have taken that extra step to go ahead and do that to make even that much better of a beer.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, at the end of the day, you'll taste it in the end product. But it's not really something you really think about. And I will say there are some very passionate home brewers and people that are really into brewing in the area, and they definitely know about it because home brewers tend to mill their own grains when they're making their beer as well.
Right.
It's just not normally 60 to 300 pounds of grain that they're milling. it's
and it sounds like you're also doing something similar with your kitchen. Trying to do things more from scratch.
Yeah, so same kind of thought process. I'm sure that all of my fellow restaurateurs in the area can attest to this, but food prices have gone up at an extreme rate, and you can see that in the grocery stores when it comes to eggs or things like that people are really noticing.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you have chickens out back laying eggs and then they become the dinner later on, or what?
I mean, those are the type of issues that the restaurants are feeling as well,
Yeah.
and so. When it comes to chicken wings, when it comes to salmon, when it comes to almost every ingredient we're using, the prices have gone up, sometimes double. And the price is really fluctuating, whereas before we used to be able to be more consistent. And so what we decided was, how do we look at this? Because at the end of the day, we want to be an approachable place. We want to be a place where people feel comfortable coming, hanging out for several hours with their friends, with their family, or if they're alone, come and make friends at the bar. So we don't want to be serving, $30 dishes. And so how do we reduce our costs up front so we don't have to pass any of that on to the customer? And so what we decided to do was, hey, if we can't make it in-house, we'd rather not pay for someone else to make it for us and then pass that charge on to the customer. So we started smoking. We bought a smoker. We started smoking our own meats. We started making our own sauces, and really kind of reducing our menu to be only things that we can do ourselves.
See, when you think about that, that's a lot of the things that when somebody's going to culinary arts school or something like that, it's a lot more detailed and talented to be able to do something like that, as opposed to working at one of your chain restaurants where you have the Gordon's food truck pull up and drop off the box of frozen chicken wings and things of that nature. So everything made from scratch in the kitchen and back to the brewing. How many beers do you guys create or craft?
Yeah, so we have a number of beers that we kind of call our staple beers, and those we kind of normally keep several of those on draft. We currently have 19 beers on draft, and we make a number of other seasonal beers as well as. We let the guys get a little experimental back there every once in a while. So one of our assistant brewers, we let them make a birthday beer every year, and so his birthday beer it was called a Baltic Porter, and it's going to have jelly and peanut butter in it.
Really?
So
I'll take the PB&J with a head on it. Thanks.
I don't know if that's going to be a great seller for you, Ethan, but
No, I think that would be quite interesting to try.
yeah. What is the most odd flavor that you've seen be more successful than you may have imagined when creating one of these craft beers?
You want to know what? It is actually something that I haven't seen many people do, at least to the extent that we've done it, but it is very spicy beers.
Really?
We've made several beers with ghost peppers and Carolina Reaper peppers in them.
Wow.
That we kind of make people taste them first before we pour them a full glass of it.
Right, right.
Well, it's not necessarily something you'd want to chug.
Yeah, here's a little sample. Just make sure you really want that. That Reaper beer. But something like you said, though, a lot of people do like that.
Don't fear the Reaper.
Spicy. Like, I wonder.
But doesn't that make you thirsty too? So then you're going to want another one?
Well, that's the point.
You're catching on.
Right. I was just, I said you had 19 different beers. It's kind of an odd number, and I'm thinking
number 20.
I'm
should be
thinking
the
number
M&J.
20. I'm thinking might be the Mike and J.
Yeah,
Mike
we've
and
been
John beer.
kind of bugging Trevor about that for a few years now.
So
What do we got to do, Ethan? Maybe you're the man that can make it happen.
I'll tell you what. Here's what I'm thinking. You can make it like mayonnaise and sriracha. Mayonnaise for Mike, and sriracha for me.
I don't
I'm
even like
spicy.
mayonnaise. Let's go back to the peanut butter.
Sriracha, we can do sriracha. Mayonnaise, I don't know.
Yeah, that
no.
might be a step too far. I agree.
We have some standards here, right?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Message received,
We
loud
got
and clear. One thing I've always appreciated about Eternity Brewing is every time I see you guys, posting on Facebook or wherever, you're always hosting an event. You're always, a fundraiser
and stuff like that.
Helping out local organizations, and kind of that's what got us into this conversation is. How much you guys have embedded yourselves locally and supporting local organizations, and you've really had quite an impact in just the past year.
Yeah, we, you know, when it comes to small brewery, it's really about the atmosphere. I mean, obviously we push to have great beer and great food, and the atmosphere is made up by the people. We can have the coolest looking walls and bar and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, it's the people. And so, we want to be involved in the community. We want our employees to be involved in the community. And so fundraising it's a win-win for everyone, because not only do we bring in customers, we also bring in customers that maybe wouldn't normally go into a brewery. Maybe that's not their normal comfort zone, but they are willing to support the cause, and they come in and they realize, hey, this place actually has a pretty good atmosphere. And on the other side of the coin, we get to partner with a great, typically local charity that has passionate people behind it. And, us being passionate about what we do, we like to surround ourselves with other passionate people. And so giving back to the community is part of our business model. It really is just part of what we want to be and what we want to do. And so we partner, every month we have, three now, fully, dedicated nights to charity euchre tournaments, and we also host occasional ladies' nights for La Casa. So the last one we had was very successful. We were able to raise over $1,600 in just 4 hours. And so some of the events like that, and then on top of that, we are fully open to taking events when we can. We're hosting a veterans event this month. And I know you guys were out at Crystal Gardens yesterday, I believe. We're currently trying to get something put together for Alzheimer's Awareness Month in June, to partner with them as well.
Yeah, I know in June they're going to have an event in downtown Howell to promote the walk that's going to happen
in September
30th. So,
and we're talking about getting a team together too, Ethan, and maybe we can team up and arrange a day to do something as far as a fundraiser, and get some of our Mike and John team members, or recruit some new ones, and maybe team up with you guys in doing so.
Yeah, we're in.
All right. Well, yeah, we'll have to talk more about that.
We'll talk to your people, and your people talk to our people, and we'll make that happen.
Right, but to the point though, in the past 12 months, you guys have raised over $20,000 for local nonprofits, and you're making a commitment to double that in the next year. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's the old adage. I know it's kind of cliche at this point, but some cliches are good. You get what you give, and I don't believe that we would have gotten to the point where we are as a business if we didn't give back to the community, because the community that we have here in Livingston County is they recognize when people are being genuine and when people are being involved, and that's just who we want to be. We want to be a local place that people go and feel comfortable and spend with their friends and eat great food and have great beer. I mean, we never set out to become founders. We never wanted to be some $1 billion buyout. I mean, I wouldn't complain, but,
right.
but we always wanted to be kind of a Cheers type of vibe. We wanted some place where everyone felt at home and could have a great time and feel comfortable and safe.
That's a great model to follow, whether you're a bar or any other type of business, just where you're more welcoming to the public and not just a big stamp on a business name.
If you're looking for that Cheers vibe, we could pull up.
John could be Norm.
I'll be Norm, and Mike could be Cliff.
I got to be Cliff. Come on. Well, at least it's not Carla. All right. Well, Ethan, it's been a pleasure having you on the show today, and we'll be in touch about the walk to end Alzheimer's. Maybe we can team up and do something by June. Sounds like a great plan. All right.
Hey, just so all of your listeners know, today is National Beer Day.
Yes, it is. It is National Beer Day.
I don't think there's any better way to celebrate National Beer Day than to stop by your local brewery.
That's right.
Of course, Eternity Brewing, and say hi to Ethan for us when you get there.
Ethan!
All right, awesome.
All right, Ethan, we appreciate it, and still give some consideration to that Mike and John, or even a Got It Going On brew. I got it going on growler,
Right.
whatever you want to do.
Ooh,
How
I like
about that?
The Gigo Growler.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Ethan, we should be your marketing guys.
Hey, you guys come on in. Let's talk.
All right.
All right. Say hi to Trevor, Brennan, and Greg and the gang for us. We appreciate you checking in today.
We'll do. All
All right.
right. Thanks.
Thanks.